Today, I'm really excited to bring you another sponsored review, this time with GVM. We're going to be taking a look at their new 26-inch Lantern Softbox, and as per their request, we're going to be using it with the GVM 80-watt LED video light, which I previously reviewed and you can find here. Let's begin. Before we jump into the review, let's talk about why you might choose a Lantern Softbox over a normal softbox. There are all sorts of different softboxes available on the market, and the majority of them allow you to focus on a particular subject or subjects by directing your light source. In the case of multiple subjects, this often requires multiple lights and, as such, multiple softboxes, as those softboxes tend to have a somewhat narrow beam angle when compared to something like a Lantern Softbox, which offers omnidirectional light. While a Lantern Softbox can obviously still be used to illuminate a single subject with beautifully soft light, they excel at things such as illuminating a larger area and multiple subjects, in the case of something like a podcast, for example, often with only one light. So if your light is bright enough, this can help you to cut down on setup and breakdown times, as well as save space, both in your bag and on set. At the time of this review, this particular Lantern Softbox lists for $99 on B&H, and if you're interested in this product, you can find the link in the description down below. As per usual, we'll be skipping the unboxing, but know that the softbox was packed adequately for the contents. Now right now, I'm using the GVM 80-watt LED video light with the Bowens Mount chimney and a piece of diffusing material draped over the front, with the light set at about 1 o'clock. To see how this Lantern Softbox affects our lighting, I'm going to attach it and aim the center of the lantern directly at me as you would any other softbox, starting now. Now in adding the softbox, I've had to turn on the GVM light to full power. So the first thing to note is that as with most softboxes, this will cut down on your light output significantly. I'll list my camera settings on the screen right now so you can get an idea of what to expect with your setup should you pick this softbox up. With the softbox, you receive a carrying bag that helps to keep everything together and safe, but it is a very basic bag. The material is somewhat thin and there is no padding inside, so if you constantly abuse or throw your equipment around, you might want to replace the bag. Otherwise, it does what it's designed to. Speaking of the material, the softbox covering is also a little thin, but well constructed and designed. I was really pleased to find that the center point of the material has a strong, soft, Velcro-like pad to help withstand the force from putting the softbox together. And while this material is somewhat thick in comparison, it doesn't seem to negatively impact the lighting. The cover extends all the way to the back of the lantern, minimizing any light leak from the rear, and is closed with 4 strips of Velcro. The structure of the softbox itself is very well built. One of my favorite parts is that each rod is covered with some kind of cloth-like tubing. This not only allows for a softer surface for the diffusing material to come into contact with, but when you're adjusting the rods, they slide very easily because the tubing actually spins, creating a lot less resistance than you would normally have in this situation. The softbox is quick and easy to put together as well as take apart, which is paramount for someone like me who hates wasting a lot of time on setup and breakdown. Simply line the center of the material up with the bottom of the softbox structure, press down while holding the material up, lock the center into place, adjust the rods as necessary, secure the back, and you're done. The softbox is meant for Bowens mount devices and easily snaps into place on the 80-watt GVM light. Speaking of which, if you've seen my review for these lights, which you can again find here, you'll know that I once made mention of the Bowens mount chimney fitting, but fitting loosely. At the time, I didn't have any other Bowens mount accessories to test, so I couldn't say for sure whether that was a design issue with the chimney or the light itself. However, now having used the softbox, I can confirm that the design flaw is with the light. That being said, I still love the lights, I still recommend them, and I recently spoke with Ken over at GVM, who told me that they're working on a new batch of these 80-watt video lights that addresses that issue, so this shouldn't be a problem for much longer. Something else I noticed while using this combination is that the softbox has quite a bit of weight in comparison. While the light itself weighs just shy of 2 pounds, the softbox comes in at almost 3. So in order to stop the light from drooping, I had to tighten it down more than I normally would. Similarly, if you're using cheap lightweight stands, you're going to want to be cautious of how you set them up, and may even want to consider using a sandbag. Otherwise, I suspect your entire setup might just flop over. These two issues are less a fault with the lantern itself and have more to do with a lack of weight in the light and budget stands, so this isn't something that should steer you away from using these two products together. While we're talking about light stands, I do want to make mention that I think this lantern would probably perform best on a C-stand anyway, given the fact that it gives you a lot more angle options. Now, I don't have a C-stand, so I can't show you how that would look, but I imagine it's probably glorious. I only have one real complaint about this softbox though, which is that some similarly priced softboxes on the market come with a skirt for light shaping, and this one does not. Now, I can't speak for the build quality of those other lanterns, but if this one had come with a skirt, I would consider it to be the total package. Aside from that, I think that overall, the softbox is a well-constructed, solid value product that if taken care of, will last and complement the appearance of any set or space it's used on. If you're looking for a lantern softbox, I think this one is worth getting. If you have any questions about the softbox, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. In the meantime, I want to say thanks to GVM for sending this softbox out to me, and as always, thanks to you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you found it to be both insightful and helpful, and if you did, please consider doing the standard things that most people on YouTube ask you to do at the end of their videos. I'd really appreciate it. Did you do it?